Up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. To focus in on a question I've gotten a couple times in the last few weeks. Are the Dallas Stars for real in the Western Conference? Right now, they have the best record in the West and have the second best record overall in the National Hockey League, behind the high-powered Washington Capitals. We've talked about them a lot in the last few weeks. Let's give Dallas some love. The dynamic duo up front, Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin. I could sit here and talk about them for till the cows come home. That was a pretty decent Texas joke, but my Texas side sense of humor. It's the team's deeper than just those two, obviously. You look up front, Patrick Sharp, getting him from the Blackhawks, taking advantage of the Blackhawks, need the salary cap purge, going after Sharp, and then signing, Dewey as a free agent. And you look at the way those guys have played. They bring a championship mentality to the locker room, and some of the other veterans, whether it's Jason Spezza or whoever, Werner Fiddler, they're looking to win. They've got a lot of games under the belt. They got that hunger to really go out there and take care of business, and they really fit in pretty well, with what Lindy Ruff's put together in Dallas. With I was just saying with Benn and Klingberg, Sagan and Klingberg, think of the great forward defense duos in the NHL. They're gonna be at the top. I would assume you'd put Taves and Duncan Keith, Doughty and Andrei Kopitar. For youth, if you're into that kind of stuff, Ekblad and Barkov down in Florida. But those would be the ones, and like I said, Klingberg and Jamie Benn are definitely, in that mix. Yeah, I like the way the team's put together. I like the moves they made this summer, and again, the amount of experience this team has. This nucleus has been together for 3 years now, and a lot of the guys that have played in other organizations, whether it's Tyler Seguin, whether it's Jason Spezza, whoever that they've played in the Cup final before, they've gone long playoff runs, they know what it takes, and I just think it bodes really well for the Stars this year. Still not totally in love with the goaltending, and Niemi, 914 save percentage. Want to see more, and Kerry Leighton's Kerry Leighton. It is what it is. That's going to hold them back. I still think they're going to make another move. I think you'd have to consider them to be in the running for Dustin Byfuglien if Winnipeg chooses to move him. That power play with Byfuglien, Klingberg on the back end, Benn, Sagan, Patrick Sharp up front. It's pretty good unit. So a little bit of high-powered offense come out of those guys. So we'll see what happens on that front. But I think that Jim Nill in the front office will have their ears to the ground, and they'll be taking calls and making calls, because I think as good as this young nucleus is, it doesn't last forever, and I get a good chance to win now, and why bother talking about the future? You got a great team right now, and you might as well go for it. So that's going to be something pretty intriguing to keep an eye on. If Valeri Nichushkin, who I've been a big fan of since I met him the day he got drafted, humble brag, if he can get it going offensively, you're looking at some real, really deep crew of forwards that can, put up points with the best of them. So we'll see what happens. But definitely, I'm buying right now. I'm buying the Dallas Stars. I'd put them, the regular season rankings, whatever, in terms of my odds to go to the final out of the Western Conference. They are, right now, LA is my number one. And then I guess them in Chicago. And then, even though they're 10 points behind St. Louis, I like Nashville. And actually, Nashville's tied for Colorado for the last playoff spot. And if something goes, they could theoretically miss the playoffs. Could possibly miss the playoffs. But they're still in the mix for my Western Conference favorites. West is interesting this year. I'm very, very intrigued to see, what the next few weeks bring in terms of moves, because I get a feeling pieces are going to be moving all around the chessboard, and I think the Dallas Stars will be in that mix. So we'll see how it all works out. Anyway, that's all on this episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for episodes for the season and beyond. Later, guys.